And I think, do you have children? Okay, so you'll know, trust me, the day will come. Before I get into the whole idea of father, children, sacrifice, do you remember in Genesis, what was the reason Adam and Eve were kicked out of the garden? Huh? God's holy. So it's kind of like Allah, right? God said, you know, you screwed up, you're out. Is that what happened? Oh, because of sin. Good Christian answers, okay? So when you look at the story of Adam and Eve, what's going on is God says, you know, you can have everything that you want. Just one thing I don't want you to do. There's this tree called the knowledge of good and evil. I never want you to know what evil is. I never want you to know. So trust me. Leave it alone. God's paranoid and he's schizophrenic. He knows if you eat it, your eyes will be open. You'll be just like him, and he won't like that because now you're going to compete with him. And he falls for it. Adam falls for it. And their eyes are open. And what happened? What did they notice? They're naked. So the first thing I want to do is hide, right? Okay, so what does God do in order to take care of Adam and Eve? Builds a monument, right? No.
He had to kill animals.
Okay, this is really interesting. He has to make a sacrifice. What's happening is, when you read about God in the Bible, he says over and over again, he hates even the death of the wicked. He hates it. He has no pleasure. So what does he do in the garden? He has to do something he hates to do. He suffers, guys. We think Adam and Eve are suffering. God suffers. God has to sacrifice. Sacrifice is not something that costs us. It costs him. And it's exactly what happens in a family. When you have kids, you'll know. You know, pretty soon the nice new car you wanted, you're going to get a cheap old one because you got to save money for your kid's college education, or somebody gets hurt, your child gets hurt, you drop everything and you sacrifice your life for your children. What God does in the garden is he sacrifices so that he can cover the shame that Adam and Eve brought upon themselves. This is our God. And he carries it from Genesis all the way through Revelation, and he culminates it at the cross, where he demonstrates that same sacrifice that was made in the garden with the perfect holy Son of God, who has to sacrifice for us. So sacrifice is all about cost. What does it cost God? That's why I love him, because what he's willing to pay just so he can know me.